How's it going, everybody, and welcome to Just Nobody's Podcast. I'm your host, Ryan.
And I'm your host, Daniel.
And today we're doing a podcast.
Woo!
If you're new to the channel, please smash the subscribe button. It's the one that says subscribe on it, and it's red. And you click it, you can watch our videos.
Yes.
And it just, why not? It's free.
Why not?
If you
Free
want to give us a
subscription.
gift for Christmas, hit the red button. Also, hit the like button. If this video gets 1,000 likes, we'll be giving away one of these hot toys to one of you guys. So make sure you hit the like button. Also, comment what you guys want us to talk about next week. As you can see throughout this video, we took your suggestions from last week, and we're talking about it on today's podcast. So let's get into the podcast.
Yeah.
Starting out, I do want to talk about an optical illusion that I saw. This is really random.
Ooh.
It's called the Syrian stairwell.
The Syrian stairwell.
So basically what it is you see a staircase that is going up, and you see one going down. And then a person walks down the staircase, they make a right turn, and all of a sudden you see them emerge from the top of the staircase on the other side, and they start walking down.
What?
Yeah, it's called a Syrian stairwell.
So it's basically like a circle. Like they're going in a circle. They go down, but they're actually... Wait, what?
I don't know the exact science behind it,
Yeah.
why it works, but it is one of the most mind-bending optical illusions.
So they go down the staircase, and then they appear on the floor above them.
Isn't that really weird?
That's not real.
Well,
That's insane.
it is real, but it seems unreal. I don't know how it works, but
It's called the what staircase?
some call it the infinite stairs.
Okay,
There's
that's
an Escherine stairwell.
That's trippy.
Yeah, it's really weird how... I don't even know how that would work, but it is a thing. Okay, so Daniel is now 24.
24.
24 years old.
I'm 24 now.
So I want you to give us one piece of advice you
Whoa.
would give someone if they asked you, like, hey, Daniel, I need some advice.
I need
Something
advice.
generic just for life.
Just for life. Wow. Words could really hurt people. And it's like, when you really think about it, words are weapons, because you could say things to people like that are mean, right? And it could be a joke.
Yeah.
But just because it's a joke doesn't mean it doesn't hurt.
Yeah, and there's also a saying, too, like, what's the saying? Like, there's always, like, when someone jokes, and say they make a joke about you, or they jab you, and they're just I'm just joking. There's always kind of like a half-truth to a joke.
Right.
So there's some hurt.
And also, like, I've learned throughout my life, right? Words I say could hurt people, but I've also been on the receiving end.
Right, I
of
think
words.
everyone has, right?
Right. And I think it's something people need to realize, that words could have not just like an emotional effect on people, but it could hurt them physically too. Like it could put like a lot of stress, physical stress on someone just by saying something.
Well, yeah, you know what's so funny? The way I always view words,
Yeah.
say if someone punches you in the face, right? It's going to hurt.
Right.
It's going to hurt. You may have a bruise for a day or two, but once that bruise is gone, you don't really think about it.
Yeah.
The pain's gone.
Right.
But when someone verbally attacks you or tries to hurt you with their words, the psychological healing, right? The amount of damage that is done could go on for the rest of your life.
Exactly.
And it's not like when you fall on the ground, you scrape your knee, you get bruised. There's a what do you call it? There's a scab. Scab comes off, you're healed, right?
Right.
But when it comes to words last a long time. Words can manifest into, decisions that are made in life. It could have long-lasting effects. So I feel like that's valid.
Yeah.
What is one piece of advice someone has given you that you feel that has helped you?
Ooh. I mean, it sounds so generic, but like, be okay with failing. Be happy to fail, because you learn so much more when you fail, right? You could succeed all your life, and once you experience some sort of failure or adversity, right? It's not going to feel normal, so you're going to react very differently than someone who has been failing and has learned a lot. You know what I mean? So like, when it comes to failure, you should be happy to fail and happy to take that risk, because you'll learn a lot more than the person who's always succeeding.
Yeah, I think it's a good reminder to people. Like, let's see, I've tried so many different types of content, so many different types of careers, right? I was at one time, I was going to be, I want to go into criminal justice.
Yeah.
I wanted to go into firefighting. I'm a licensed EMT. There's so many things that I've tried, right? And I've accepted the fact that, I want to give it my all. And when you succeed, right, you don't learn. Like, you just know, like, well, I gave it my best and I won.
Yeah.
But when you fail, you tell yourself like, wow, so I didn't get the outcome I wanted, and these are the steps I took to get there, and I didn't reach what I wanted to get.
Right.
So what adjustments do I need to make to be successful?
Yeah.
Right? But when you get it on the first go, you hit a home run, you're kind of like, wow, I try to retrace my steps. I did it like this, and I got the end goal.
Yeah.
But then if you want to improve, it's like there's got to be some points of failure. Say like if you got to, say your goal is 100, but someone's at 150, and you hit a home run, you get to 100, right? And you're just 50 shy, and you're like, well, what do I do now? I gave it my all, and I got to 100, right? But in order to get to that 150, there's some failing that has to come into play to be able to learn to improve.
Yeah.
Right? Say if you gave it your all and it wasn't enough, there's some things that need to be changed.
Right.
So I think failure is good. I think that's a good piece of advice. I think that too many people get caught up in not wanting to fail because they want to appease their parents, want to appease their friends, want to not look like a failure. Maybe they have friends that are doing better than them and they don't want to take the risk because they don't want to be, fail publicly.
Right.
But hey, at the end of the day, if you don't try, right, you never will know.
You never will know, yeah.
And I think that the regret of not trying will haunt you for the rest of your life. At the end of the day, say you try, you fail. Your friends that never tried and failed, they played it safe. It's kind of like they can say what they want, right?
Yeah.
But at least you had the guts to try. And you just never know. You just never know what could happen. You try, you may fail 5 times, but that one time, right? That one time that just hits, you just never know how life-changing that can be. So I think that's a good piece of advice. And with that being said, I want to talk about, as the movie, I'll give a top 5 movies of the year later in the podcast, but I kind of want to talk to you about what is your top 5 movies of all time. I know we'll talk later in the podcast about this 2023.
Whoa.
But if you had to pick from 1999, or no, sorry, it doesn't have to be from 1999.
Yeah.
Just your lifetime. What's a movie that you've seen that your top 5, if you had to rank them right now?
Just movies that
I enjoy. How about we do this? Just so it's not too complicated.
Okay.
I know top 5 is a hard thing to figure out right now, but if you could just pick 5 movies, right, that you would consider your top 5. Now the rankings can change throughout on the daily.
Yeah.
But what is consider your top 5 if you had to pick 5 movies?
Whoa. Okay. I don't know if I could put these in order.
You don't have to.
Just 5
That's
movies.
what I'm saying.
No,
Yeah.
there's no order. Okay.
Yeah. There's
so
no
one
order.
of them would definitely be Sandlot.
Okay. That's one.
Another one that I really enjoyed and had like a big effect on me was Meet the Robinsons.
Okay, 2.
I definitely have to put Toy Story 2 in there.
Okay, that's 3.
I have to put Spider-Man 2, Tobey Maguire.
Okay.
And I have to put Avengers Infinity War.
Oh, okay. That's valid. Oh, Meet the Robinsons. Keep moving forward is a really good quote too.
I love the scene where he fails and the family starts celebrating his failure. Because like that's just like the whole thing, right? Failing is okay. Failing should be celebrated.
Right.
Because you learn.
Okay, my top 5. Okay, first off, I really like Martin Scorsese's Goodfellas. Now, Martin Scorsese has this like really cool way of storytelling where it's like he has this narration by the lead actor, right? That kind of progresses the story like as they're talking, it breaks the fourth wall. It's really cool how he does it. And Wolf of Wall Street does it. There's so many great movies Martin Scorsese does where it does that, and Goodfellas is one of them. So that'd be one of them. Now, Avengers Infinity War is definitely on the list. Iron Man 1.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
Darn it.
Yeah, Iron Man 1. Oh, gosh, this is tough. Okay, so I'm going to throw in a Disney movie, a Pixar movie, and I want to say that I would go Toy Story 1.
Oh, okay.
And then for my 5th choice, my 5th movie of all time. Man, that is tough. I'm trying to think of what movie has really had a lasting impact on my life. And
it's hard to do this like on the spot like this.
It is. But you know what? I'm going to throw it out there.
Okay.
I think a movie that has left an impact on my life that I feel like maybe is not critically acclaimed is Facing the Giants.
Ooh.
And I think for those who don't know about it,
That's
I think it's a good
one.
movie to check out. It's if you're in a low point in your life or you're at a high point in your life, it's a good reminder that the idea is to keep moving forward. And I don't know your religious background, but if you want to check out a cool movie, go check it out. The acting's not great, but the message behind it is amazing, and I think that's a good top 5. And with that, I will. Oh, crazy fact.
Crazy fact.
Crazy fact. For those who don't know, Dr. Pepper. Now, Dr. Pepper is a great drink.
Yeah.
I mean, it's when I go to fast food or a restaurant and I have the option to drink a soda. I'm not drinking soda right now. I haven't been drinking soda, but when I do, I usually go. There's 3 options. Okay, I'll go Sprite, Dr. Pepper, or Coke. Now, I've eliminated Coke from my life pretty good, but I think it comes down now to Sprite or Dr. Pepper.
Yeah.
Now, Dr. Pepper is great. I think it's amazing. But what's really crazy to me is back in the 1970s or 1980s, there was a campaign, a marketing campaign to try to push people to drink Dr. Pepper hot.
Hot?
It's like as if you're drinking hot cocoa or hot chocolate or coffee. They're trying to say you should be drinking Dr. Pepper hot.
What?
Yeah, so you see a guy, he's like, drink Dr. Pepper warm, right? So it's in a mug. And the idea was that you could heat up Dr. Pepper and it's just as good as when you drink it cold.
What the heck?
It is really.
Is it still carbonated?
I don't know.
That's so
But
weird.
I feel like when you microwave something, that shouldn't lose its properties, should it?
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I love Dr. Pepper, and I do want to try this, even though it's from the 1970s, but the fact that Dr. Pepper themselves made a marketing ad trying to push people to drink it warm, it must be decent.
It's got to be good. Why else would they market that? Why would they market something that's disgusting?
Yeah, I don't know. But moving on, I do want to talk about Super Mario. Now, the voice of Super Mario, it is a really cool story. I don't know all the details, but kind of like the gist of what I read was there's a voice actor who was, not getting many jobs. All of a sudden at his work, there was auditions for a plumber.
Oh. So
he does the voice like an Italian plumber, and he does his iconic Mario voice.
Yeah.
Immediately they went to Nintendo and said, hey, this is our guy. That guy had a job for who knows how long, 30, 20 years?
Right.
And now that he's retiring, the original voice of Mario is now retiring. And in the Super Mario Bros. Movie, Chris Pratt does voice Mario. But there's a scene at the end where you see Mario's dad and Luigi's dad is voiced by the original Mario. Oh. So it's kind of a cool send-off of, the original voice actor's career.
Interesting. That's kind of like a cool, little fact in there.
Yeah, I think it was good.
So another crazy little fact that is going around. Starting January 1st in California, when police officers pull you over, they can no longer ask you, do you know why I pulled you over?
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So they have to state why they pulled you over. They can never ask you what you think. Because I guess sometimes cops were pulling people over for things very minor and then asking them that in hoping to get to search their vehicle in hopes of finding something worse.
Huh.
Yeah.
I thought they do that because they want the person to say speeding. And they say, oh, I pulled you over. They go, how, maybe speeding? And they're like, yeah, how fast do you think you're going? And they go, I don't know, 50 to 35. And they're like, okay, there's a ticket.
Yeah, but I guess since they're doing this, they have to state why they did it.
I guess it's good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's more transparent, right? It's you should, let the person know exactly what they did wrong.
Right.
Instead of making it a guessing game.
Okay, so moving on to a weird fact about Santa Claus. Okay, so do you know why Santa Claus is red? Why he wears red?
No.
So in lore, right? In old lore,
yeah,
he would always wear green.
Okay.
To match pine trees. Right? That's just what the picture they made of him.
Okay.
Was green. Now, for all these years growing up, he was always red, right? Always wore the red and white.
Right. That's all I remember Santa as.
Right.
Yeah.
And now nobody questioned why he switched to red from the green. And who was the first person who made him red? And the first person to make Santa wear red was actually Coca-Cola.
Oh my gosh. You want to know what's so crazy right now?
What?
I was literally saying to myself as you're talking about this, I was like, yeah, Santa wears red. And I'm like, I see him all the time with Coca-Cola.
Exactly.
That's weird.
Yeah. So
Coke.
That was the first time they put him in red. Ever since Coke did it, he's always been red.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I wonder when Coke came out. It's been around for a long time, but that's amazing that a brand is what switched it for
Yeah.
the whole entire world. Literally the world.
Right.
Any country knows that
Santa is red.
wears red.
Okay, so moving on to this little study that I found. It headlines as this: the more money a couple spends on their wedding and engagement rings, the more likely they are to divorce.
Interesting.
So the more money you spend on your ring. So it says spending more than $2,000 on an engagement ring is associated with a 1.3 times greater hazard of divorce for men. And weddings under $1,000 indicate substantial drop in the chance of divorce. But when you spend above $20,000, it increases the chance of divorce by 1.6 times.
Wow. You know what you just kind of said there, what I gather is it's almost like the engagement ring and the wedding. It is kind of like you're doing it to show off.
Yeah.
Right? The engagement ring, I mean,
Yeah,
right?
I understand what you're saying. Yeah.
You're kind of like, the reason why it might lead to divorce is
Right.
because maybe those people care more about how they look to people.
Rather than the actual
Right.
marriage.
For example, like, I know I have some friends that have done the courthouse wedding, saved a lot of money, right? And they use that money towards a house, right?
Very
And
smart.
and that's for them,
Yeah.
right? That's going to better their future and better their life, right?
Right.
And they don't care what people think. They just know, like, hey, when you get married, you're bonding with the person
Yeah.
for the future.
Right.
Now, you splurge on a wedding, right? It's great. It's fun,
Yeah.
right? But who are you doing it for? And
Right.
who's the main person that you're trying to impress there? Is it your partner, or are you trying to impress your family, your friends? That's
Yeah.
where I think that is very interesting.
Yeah. I mean, it could go both ways, right? Is it impressing your family and friends or anyone? Or is it that you just want to make the day as memorable as possible?
Right.
Right.
I get that too.
Yeah. So there's two ways of going it. But it's very interesting that the more money you spend, the higher chance of divorce you have.
Yeah, I just think the route, if we're talking about that you have a 1.6% chance more to divorce,
Uh-huh.
it seems like you would be more in the realm of just trying to impress your friends and family.
Yeah.
Right? Because if you're trying to impress, just make the day special for your wife or
Right.
your husband, then why would it lead to 1.6 times divorce? Right?
You're making some good points.
Wait, why would it?
No.
Because you
Yeah.
just try to make it nice for them.
Right. I totally get what you're saying.
Yeah.
So I guess another study found that when someone eats pasta, it's actually equivalent. The happiness you get from eating pasta
Yeah.
is equivalent to like the happiness you get from listening to music or watching sports or playing sports. I don't know why those two things, but they said like the happiness levels that you get from just consuming pasta
Yeah.
is equivalent to that.
So like when Tiger Woods makes a putt to win the Masters.
Yeah. The happiness you experience from that is the same happiness you get from eating pasta.
That is so funny.
Yeah, and they said that pasta actually boosts serotonin. So that's why you get so happy.
Pasta's so good, but I know it's so bad for you. I mean, if you go to Italy,
Yeah.
right, maybe the way they do gluten there is way healthier than they do in the U.S., but in the U.S., man, eating pasta is just like makes you,
Yeah.
you may feel happy in the moment, but afterwards you're like, gosh, I regret this bad.
You might regret it for a week.
Yeah, I know I have.
Yeah.
I've completely oh my gosh, fun fact. So I've completely trying to cut out gluten.
Yeah.
It is very hard to do. Gluten is in everything.
Well, I don't know, but I see you struggle.
It is tough. I'll go to a restaurant with Daniel and our friends, and I order a burger, and I'm taking off the bun, and I'm just literally grabbing the patty and just eating the patty.
He gets the patty with just a slice of cheese on it, and you just eat it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
And then
it's
you
sad.
just leave the bun there.
It's so sad. And then this guy over here, Daniel, starts eating my fries, and he goes like, wow, these fries are really good. These are almost like McDonald's fries. And I'm like, gosh, thanks, bro. And then then he starts eating my bun. He's like, wow, this bun is really well done. It's really crispy on the inside and nice and soft on the outside.
Well, if you're not going to enjoy it, someone else should.
Yeah,
And someone
I'm glad
else
you
is
can.
me.
As you dip it in ketchup, I'm like, bro, what the heck is this? To be able to have a fast metabolism again. Literally 2 weeks ago, I got really sick, or 3 weeks ago. I forgot how much time has passed now.
Yeah.
It's been a while, maybe a month. I got really sick. I don't know what it was from. We're not sure yet exactly what it was, but apparently I had some kind of virus in my stomach, and I literally couldn't eat. Like, the thought of eating made me sick.
Yeah.
All I did all day. It was very hard to film the podcast. I don't even think we filmed the podcast when I was sick.
We might not have.
We had like a podcast from a week prior or something. I can't remember how we did it.
Yeah.
But
You couldn't even drink, though.
yeah, I couldn't drink water. it was just very painful. I remember just trying to take little sips of water just to get me through the day.
Yeah.
But I stayed in bed mostly. But it's crazy that because of getting sick, I literally I cut out gluten and I'm trying to feel better, but it's so sad.
Yeah. But it's for the better.
It's for the better.
It's for the better.
Okay, little interruption. Daniel had to go take a picture, so he had to
Yeah.
shave his face a little bit. Emergency
Took a little
photo.
bit on the bottom off.
Nice.
Good now, though.
Okay, so with that being said, I want to talk about something that was really disturbing to me. People may know about this, some people may not, but for me, this was like one of the most disturbing things that I've ever seen.
Really?
Do you know why this video is one of the most disturbing videos ever?
What's the biggest mistake you made at your wedding?
Honey, I love you, but said I do. Not my mistake. I love my wife. I'm gonna get in trouble for that, aren't I?
How do you regret saying I do at a wedding? Like, that's the whole point.
So the guy in the video is Timothy Beliefnick, and back in 2020, he was on Family Feud, and just a few months after this clip, he murdered his wife.
Wait, what?
So him and his wife were going through a divorce, but weeks before she died, she sent this text message to her sister, like, watch this, this is crazy.
If something ever happens to me, please make sure the number one person of interest is Tim, as that is who would do something to me.
Oh, so she knew he would do something to her.
Well, she was definitely scared of her husband, and what Tim did was he snuck into his wife's house and he shot her 14 times. So he was sentenced to life in prison, but what's so sad is that they had 3 kids together, and now they're without parents.
That honestly has to be one of the craziest situations I've ever heard.
But it's so sad for these kids, you know?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I don't even know how to react to it. Obviously, it's so sad for the wife. Like, it's horrific. It's one of the biggest tragedies that I've heard of.
Yeah.
I couldn't even imagine what these kids must be going through.
It's crazy how that's documented on the show.
Yeah.
And then they have that phone call, and then everything like unfolded like that.
Okay, I don't want to stay on such a dark topic for too long, so I want to talk about this guy. This guy on my desk.
Oh.
Mr. Robert Downey Jr.
Robert Downey Jr.
Some of you guys may know him as Sherlock Holmes, some may know him as Iron Man, and others may know him as Robert Strauss from Oppenheimer.
Ah.
He's crushing it, ladies and gentlemen. He's
Killing
crushing it.
it.
And with that being said, do you know how much money Robert Downey Jr. has made throughout all his Marvel movies?
No, but I'm sure it's crazy.
So for Iron Man 1, he made $2.5 million. For Iron Man 2, he made $10 million. For Avengers 1, he made $50 million. And for Iron Man 3, he made another $50 million. For Avengers Age of Ultron, he made $80 million. For Captain America Civil War, he made $64 million. For filming 3 days for Spider-Man Homecoming, he made $15 million. For Avengers Infinity War and Endgame, he made $150 million, which totals to $421 million. And that is just for Marvel movies. That's not including all the other movies he's in.
Okay, what about after all of his fees?
Okay, so after management fees, agent fees, lawyer fees, publicist, state, and federal income tax, he made $104 million.
Okay, that's an insane amount of money.
Robert Downey Jr.'s career has been so long.
Yeah.
So long. Just Marvel alone, he made $400 and something million.
I mean, he almost made $500 million.
We're just talking about the movies, right? Like in
Yeah.
terms of what he got paid to be in the movie.
Right.
But there's like toys, there's video games, there's licensing,
Oh
like
my
there's appearances that he had to make
gosh.
as Iron Man. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of money that also was made from being Iron Man that was not calculated into that grand total.
What the heck? Do you think including all that other stuff for the Marvel movies, do you think it's like 600 million?
I wouldn't be surprised.
That is insane.
Because if you like piece everything together, it's got to be a crazy amount of money.
Just off of Marvel.
Who knows? His Marvel career might not be over yet.
Ooh, that is true.
Do you know what MUGshotties are?
What the heck is that?
So it's a social media page where you see girls' mugshots on this page and you have to guess why they went to jail.
Okay, let me see it.
Okay, photo number 1. What do you think she did wrong for her to go to jail?
Okay. Maybe stealing? Stealing something?
Okay, so she actually went to jail for domestic violence. She actually beat someone up in her home.
Okay, I was way off.
Okay, next photo. What do you think she did?
I mean, I'm starting light. I'm like, okay, like DUI?
You're close. She went to jail for reckless driving.
Okay, not far off.
Okay, so what do you think she did wrong?
Okay, I've been saying some pretty minor things. Let's go with like murder this time.
So she went to jail for stealing a candle that was worth $5,000.
What?
Okay, moving on. What do you think this girl did?
I'm going back to stealing.
She actually went to jail for vandalizing an entire building. Okay, so last photo. What do you think this girl did?
Okay, she looks like she could beat someone up. She beat someone up.
She actually committed first-degree murder using a 3D printed gun.
Dude, what is this?
It's MUGshotties. MUGshotties. Yeah, everyone go check out MUGshotties.
MUGshotties.
MUGshotties. Okay, so staying on the theme of crime,
Whoa.
do you know why this guy attacked a judge in court?
What the heck? He just tackled her.
Okay, so before I tell you why he did what he did, I have to show you the full video first here.
I appreciate that, but I think it's time that he get a taste of something else because I just can't with that history. in accordance with the laws of the state of Nevada, this court.
Isn't that crazy?
Oh my gosh.
He just like jumped and just tackled her.
Yeah.
He's beating her.
Over the whole desk.
I can't believe
Like he cleared the whole thing.
Yeah, where's the police at? They're in a courtroom. Like,
What is that guy doing?
I know, you would think they would get more police in there to help.
Look That's how he's hitting him.
Isn't it crazy though? Like how like no one's there to really help. There's only
Yeah.
like 2 people helping.
What was that? That is actually insane.
So this all happened because this guy got arrested for attempted battery, which is basically assaulting another human being. And when he went to court, he was asking for bail to be able to bail himself out of jail. But his record shows that he has 9 domestic violence charges against him and he has 3 felonies. So when he was denied bail, he decided to attack the judge. But the judge was looking at the guy's past with 9 domestic violence cases and 3 felonies, and she denied him.
And he decided to just jump over the desk and tackle her.
That's not going to help his case at all.
Okay, so moving on, I want to talk about some theories, specifically some Marvel theories.
I feel like out of all the theories when it comes to fictional things, I think Marvel is the best.
So there's a crazy theory that Thanos never actually knew the color of his own blood and that Tony was the first person ever to make him bleed. Because when you look at Infinity War and the battle on Titan, when Tony and Thanos are fighting, Tony is beating Thanos pretty bad. But Thanos only sheds 1 drop of blood and his blood is actually red. And this is the moment he realized Tony is a bigger threat than he thought. But he also realized that his blood is red like humans.
How do you know that this is the first time that Thanos saw that his blood is red?
So when you go back to when Thanos encounters the Guardians, he uses the reality stone to create a completely different reality. And in this reality, Gamora actually ends up stabbing Thanos. But what's weird is in this new reality, Thanos' blood is purple. So he didn't even know what color to make his own blood. He just thought it was purple because his skin is purple. And he literally didn't know what color it was up until fighting Tony.
This makes the battle between Tony and Thanos way better because it really shows that Thanos was actually hurt.
Yeah, but moving on to the next theory, I will always believe the theory that the reason why Tony Stark made his nanotech suit was because of Ant-Man.
What does Ant-Man have to do with that?
So in Infinity War, the nanotech suit was introduced for the first time, but Tony actually made it because of Ant-Man. Because in Civil War, at the battle at the airport, Ant-Man was actually the first person ever to enter one of Tony's suits without permission, and he was able to make the suit malfunction.
Okay, but why is nanotech made because of that?
So if Tony Stark always learns from his mistakes, it makes sense that after fighting Ant-Man, he creates a suit that's skin tight with no ways of entry while he's in it, unlike any other of his suits. And when you look at the movie, they make a point to show that the suit is skin tight because they have Tony pull his clothes skin tight so the suit could fit over it.
I guess in a way, then Ant-Man taught Tony a lesson.
Yeah, but moving on to the next theory, I want to talk about a Pokemon theory.
Oh, here you go. Let's see ruin Pokemon for everyone.
So there's a crazy Pokemon theory that all Gengars are just dead Clefables. Because when you look at them side by side, they look extremely similar. Like they have the same shape, they have the same hands, they have the same feet, and they have the same ears.
I guess they both share a lot of similarities, but like what makes them the same?
So the theory is when a Clefable dies, it releases a ghastly that eventually turns into a Gengar. And it makes sense because Clefables actually are normal type Pokemon and Gengars are shadow type Pokemon. So it makes sense when a normal Pokemon dies, it releases a shadow type Pokemon.
Wow, that makes a lot of sense.
And when you look at them side by side, they both, like, the Gengar looks like the evil version of a Clefable. Like, it just looks like they're polar opposites.
Oh, weird. And it's kind of like the whole thing with Cubone, right? That Cubone.
Oh, yeah, Cubone and Charmander?
Yeah,
Yeah,
kind of like similar.
right.
Yeah, and very interesting.
Okay, so moving on, again, we need to do an AI movie casting.
You know, it is scary how close every time the AI computer is able to generate a real good cast. You know, it is shocking.
Yeah, so someone asked AI to cast a live-action Frozen.
All right, let's see what the computer came up with.
So first, the Duke of Wesselton will be Stanley Tucci, Queen Iduna will be played by Nicole Kidman, King Agnar will be Hugh Jackman, and Hans will actually be played by Aaron Taylor Johnson.
I honestly do feel like Aaron Taylor Johnson could totally work for that.
Yeah, then Pabby, the troll leader, will be voiced by Ian McKellen, Olaf will be voiced by Josh Gad, Kristoff will be Tom Holland, Anna will be Haley Steinfeld, and Elsa will actually be Anya Taylor-Joy.
You know Disney's going to eventually make a live action Frozen. It's going to happen.
They have to.
It's one of the most popular movies. Like if you look at like how Disney's making the Jungle Book, then they did the Lion King, like in like Aladdin. You know what I mean? There's so many movies that they're doing live action. It would make sense that eventually, maybe 10 years from now, 15 years from now, when we're older, Frozen live action will be coming out.
Yeah, and that's one they better not mess up.
So guys, if you guys have been watching the podcast this year from the beginning of the podcast, we really appreciate you guys so much. We hope you had a wonderful holiday with your family. And as this new year approaches, I hope that you guys can just keep moving forward. The best is yet to come and keep moving forward in the direction that you want to go. And we wish you guys the best. We love you guys so much. And we'll see you guys tomorrow on TikTok. And we'll see you guys next Sunday on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube.
We'll see you on the TikTok.
Also, if
Whoa.
you guys want to see Leia and I do more reactions, comment what movies you guys want us to watch. We just did Kung Fu Panda. And, spoiler alert, we do have John Wick Chapter 1. We filmed it with Leia. It was a really good reaction. Leia did not know anything about John Wick going into it. I told her, like, it's fine. Literally, we start the movie, and I'm like, this is one of the most gory movies ever. Within the first, like, couple minutes, she starts crying already. But we'll see you guys next week. God bless you guys. Love ya.
Bye.